Chaffetz.
Thank you.
5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Attorney General, for being here. I'd like to focus my comments on Fast and Furious. You stated in previous testimony here today that you had read the 6 wiretap applications. I, too, have read those wiretap applications. I come to a conclusion that is totally different than your conclusions. And that is, but I think, a sliver of the information that we're looking at where a reasonable person would only come to the conclusion that the senior-most people within the Department of Justice did indeed know that guns were walking, that those tactics were being used. And I guess my question for you, Mr. Attorney General, those things are sealed, those wiretap applications. Nobody wants to impede an ongoing investigation or hamper prosecution opportunities. My question for you today is, would you be willing to make yourself personally available to myself and Mr. Gowdy, and in the essence of fairness, Mr. Bobby Scott and Mike Quigley, to come talk to you, sit down, and I want you to show me how you don't come to that conclusion, and I'd like to show you why I think there's a preponderance of evidence that would lead one to believe that, yes, indeed, the Department of Justice did know about this. Is that fair? Could you make yourself available?
Well, Chairman, a parliamentary inquiry.
No,
please.
Mr.
State your
Chairman,
parliamentary inquiry.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I know the Attorney General is about to answer. But is it appropriate for members to refer to sealed documents in this Judiciary Committee room and suggest that the Attorney General makes a personal visit to members on what is sealed and should not be provided during a criminal investigation?
I simply ask if, again, please, Mr. Chairman, this should not count towards my time. I'm simply asking, there's a dispute here. This has gone on for a year and a half. Most members on this side asked about Fast and Furious. We're trying to resolve this, get to the end of it. It's hard to do in 5 minutes. I'm just asking for personal time to show you what we've seen and for you to share with us what you've seen.
But Mr. Chairman, I again refer, these are sealed documents. I'm trying to understand, is the gentleman wanting the the Attorney General to speak to sealed documents that have been leaked and then discuss it with members while there is a pending criminal investigation? Is this the appropriate approach?
Gentleman will suspend. Gentleman will suspend. The contents of the sealed documents may not be discussed. The gentleman may have his time back and will receive the remaining time that has been allotted to the gentlelady from Texas.
Is that a reasonable request? Will you sit down with us and talk about this?
Well, I don't think that under the federal law I have an ability to talk about, as the statute says, the contents of the wiretap information.
Would you be willing to sit with us and talk about all the other pieces of evidence that we see that aren't sealed?
What?
Well, I have sat down with you on 8 separate occasions.
I'm asking for more time to sit with you personally, more than just 5 minutes, and go through this in some depth. Give us 2 hours. Well, 2 members from the Democrats, 2 on the Republican side, and go through this.
You know, with all due respect, I give you 4 hours at a crack on 8 separate occasions. I'm not sure there's an awful lot more I have to say. But here's one point I would say. You and I have both read materials that senior people in the Justice Department, as they went through that approval process, did not read. As we know,
let me go on, please. So the answer is no.
No, but
well, you're eating up my time, and I only have about 3.5 minutes left. I'd like more time. That's what I'm asking for, and you're saying no. So
no, but
please let me share with you why I think this is imperative. Sunday, October 17th, 11:07 p.m. Jason Weinstein sends an email to James Trusty. Do you think we should try to have Lanny participate in a press when Fast and Furious and Laura's Tucson case are unsealed? It's a tricky case given the number of guns that have walked, but it is a significant set of prosecutions. James Trustee sends back to Jason Weinstein, it's not going to be any big surprise that a bunch of U.S. guns are being used in Mexico, so I'm not sure how much grief we get for guns walking. It may be more like, finally, there are going to be people who sent guns, they're going after the people who sent guns down there. Now, you claim with passion that nobody at the senior levels of the Department of Justice prior to the death of Brian Terry knew that guns were walking, and I've got an email from Jason Weinstein using the term guns walking.
I think we went through this exercise before. That refers to wide receiver, not fast and furious.
That's not what the February 4th letter that was sent to the United States Congress said. It said that the ATF never uses those tactics.
And
never.
We said
that's not true.
And we said that that letter was inaccurate. It was ultimately withdrawn. But the email that you just read, and this is important, that email referred to wide receiver. It did not refer to fast and furious. That has to be noted for the record.
No, it doesn't. It says Fast and Furious. Do you think we should try to have Lanny participate in press when Fast and Furious and Laura's Tucson case are unsealed? It's specific to Fast and Furious. That is not true, Mr. Attorney General. No. I'm happy to share it with you.
Yeah,
Can I ask unanimous consent to give you some extra time to review it?
That's fine. The Laura Tucson case refers to wide.
It says Fast and Furious. We'll let the media have it, and we'll play it out.
Laura was not involved. Laura Duffy was not involved. Laura was not involved in Fast and Furious.
The email says Fast and Furious. You say it doesn't. I've got it in black and white. Did you personally read?
I have superior knowledge.
Did you personally read Speaker Boehner's letter sent to you on May 18th, 2012?
Where's the letter at?
Yes, I got that.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Have you personally responded to the Speaker?
The Deputy Attorney General responded.
So you delegated that to James Cole?
I didn't delegate it to him. We thought it was appropriate for him to respond.
You didn't think it was appropriate for you to respond?
No, but what I've indicated in my opening statement, and I'm certainly willing to indicate right now, is that I am willing to personally engage with the 4 people who signed that letter and try to come to an accommodation so that we can get you the information that you need, consistent with what I think is our need to protect ongoing investigations. I want to be as flexible as we can, and as you said, get to the end.
I have a hard time buying that when you don't sit down with a guy like me.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman's time.